Hi guys and welcome back. Well, this is one I've been looking forward to now for quite some time. I did do a review of the second game in the series, and I have also done a review of the 2010 reboot. So this time we're going to take a look at Splatterhouse on the TurboGrafx 16. Splatterhouse. The game is developed and produced by Namco, and I cannot pronounce these names. I really can't. There is one I'm going to take a stab at, and that is one of the producers. Is that Paya? Sorry if I've just murdered your name there. It originally came out on the arcades. It then came out on the Namco LCD handheld. It's quite interesting, that one. I'm going next with the Famicom. We'll come back to that in a moment. The PC Engine TurboGrafx 16, the FM Towns Marty, Microsoft Windows, iOS, most recently the Nintendo Switch, originally released in 1988, but the PC Engine in TurboGrafx is actually 1990, and this is classed as a beat-em-up. Going back to that Namco LCD handheld, check this out. I think it looks really quirky. What a fantastic little handheld. That came out the very next year, 1989. Now, Famicom. Take a look at this. As far as I'm aware, it only came out in Japan. I've done a little bit of digging, and as far as I can see, it was only Japan. So it only got made for the Famicom systems. Which means that, well, every NES title you see, and every NES car, it's a bootleg. There's a place for them, but that's what they are. They're bootleg games. Anyway, I digress. Due to the game's violent nature, as well as some of the questionable enemies, the TurboGrafx 16 port of Splatterhouse had a parental advisory warning printed on the front of the box, which reads, "The horrifying theme of this game may be inappropriate for young children and cowards." Right, well, in this game you play the role of Rick Taylor, and it's yourself and Jennifer Willis that you've taken shelter from a storm in a mansion which is locally known as Splatterhouse. Now, it gets that name because of the experiments that were supposedly conducted there by Dr. West. So you've entered the mansion, the door slams shut, Jennifer screams. You then wake up in the mansion's dungeons, but you've been resurrected by the Terror Mask. It's got a really quirky story. I think it's brilliant. I'm going to give it 8 out of 10. Audio. Well, I like the music. It's certainly not memorable, and if anything, you know what, after a while it does sound a little bit monotonous, but at least it does change from level to level, so you're not having to listen to the same damn thing all the time. As for the special effects, when you're kicking, punching, being, trampled upon, grabbed, it all sounds okay. It just doesn't sound great. And this could be the game's letdown for me, that the audio is not maybe as well, it's not as good as I would have liked. It sounds a little bit tinny. Correct me if you think I'm wrong. It could have been a little bit more bassy if I'm honest, but it's sort of adequate. I'm not going to be too harsh. We'll give it 7 out of 10. Controls. Well, everything was going great. Moving left and right, punching when I need to, jumping when I need to. No problem. Then I moved on to level 2 with the bats. And this is when I discovered it lags. You have to press early. Now that shouldn't be the case, but I had to really push early to make sure I was killing those bats. Now that is a bit of a letdown for me. It could have been a lot more responsive, it should be a lot more responsive. It's not a deal breaker, but it is only going to get another 7 out of 10. Graphics. Bearing in mind this game was made in 1990, yes, the graphics are not as crisp maybe as we would have liked, it's not as polished as maybe we would have liked, but for what you're getting, it's brilliant. Tons of depth, tons of detail, the level designs and what they put in there is fantastic. You can't ask for much more. How many games out there do you actually swing a piece of wood only to have the enemies go splat on the wall? It is at times a little bit horrific, let's be honest, and certainly for small children it's possibly not the game for them. And wait till you see the guy with the, well, he's got chainsaws for arms. It's just brilliant. I like it. Yes, not as polished as I would have liked, but I'm still going to give it 8 out of 10. Because for what they did back then is brilliant. Gameplay. Well, it is actually very simple, but it is also brilliant. And just like I suppose the classic beat-em-ups of old, you're going to move from left to right and destroy everything that comes your way. And that also goes for them chasing behind you. You can kick, punch, and you can jump. You can also pick up objects, whether that's glass, daggers, wood, a spear, or even a shotgun. You've just got to work your way to the end of the level and then reach, well, that end of level boss fight, or in this case, a room fight. Once you get past that, you're on to the next level, and so on and so forth. The level design and that is more than interesting enough to keep you going, so it isn't a game that you feel, you know what, I'm getting tired of this straight away, because you certainly won't. But it is a game that once you've completed it, you're not likely to pick it up again, to play again. Give it a good 6 months though, you'll thoroughly enjoy the game again, and you'll probably complete it again. Factor into that harder enemies as you increase the levels, and certainly the harder end of level boss fights. This is a game that will keep you entertained. So for gameplay, it's going to get 8 out of 10. Overall, if you like your side-scrolling beat-em-ups with a horror-based theme, with tinny music but adequate gameplay and certainly adequate graphics, which you're not going to play once you've completed for over 6 months, then this is potentially the game for you. It is a game that I've thoroughly enjoyed playing all the way through. I'm not showing you every single level because I don't want to spoil it completely for people that have never played this game before, but it's also potentially the reason why I've not played it for 6 months, because it's not the sort of game you will be grabbing off your shelf every 5 minutes. You'll enjoy it while you're playing it, but once you've completed it, you know what, you're going to park it for a bit and move on to something else. But every now and then, I'll guarantee you'll come back to it, or certainly one of the others in the series. They are all certainly fun-packed games. This one's getting an overall score of 7.6 out of 10. Well, there you have Splatterhouse, a game I've thoroughly enjoyed playing all the way through again, but then discovered why I've not picked the damn thing up for quite some time. It is a good game, it's a great game if you've never ever played it before. Maybe you're not into side-scrolling beat-em-ups, this would be a fantastic entry level for you, and certainly with the horror-based theme, something a little bit different. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. As always, I've thoroughly enjoyed bringing this to you. Please drop me any comments, let me know your thoughts. You can also reach me on social media. I'm on Twitter, that will be B_Hawk Clinic, Facebook, that's at Betty Hall Clinic, and on Instagram you can catch me on hashtag Betty Hall Clinic. Please consider giving me a thumbs up, it really helps, but I'd certainly like to thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, I'll catch you all again, take care.